welcome to the Italian European Cup. It's time for speed qualifications, and as you can see, we have a pretty special gym for you here today. My name is Matt Grube, and I'm joined by pro athletes, although not competing today, due to being Ecuadorian, Andrea Rojas in the commentary box. Andrea, how are you doing today?
Hello everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. I don't know, it feels strange to be here and not be competing, but since I'm not European, it's a huge, cool opportunity to be here and commentate with you.
Well, it's lovely to have you here, and of course, hugely experienced athletes who you can be calling all of the technical beta and things that we see. So thank you very much for that. Now, let me just tell you about the schedule for the next couple of competitions. So right now is the speed qualification. That is a race against the clock for the athletes who are trying to qualify for the finals that's taking place this evening. After that, tomorrow, around about 10 a.m., I'm pretty sure, Central European time, we have the lead semi-finals, and then after that, in the evening, the lead finals, taking place on that massive wall. And Andrea, you told me that when we came down here that I would be surprised how big that thing is. That is 24 meters tall. It's an enormous lead wall.
Yeah, it seems like infinite. So, yeah, they are finishing the lead routes early, because it's too much maybe for a comp, but yeah, right now we should focus about the speed wall.
Yeah, exactly. The athletes are waiting in the wings. We can see the women first. They'll be going first, followed by the men. Agnese Fiorio from Italy, Alice Straccioni from Italy as well. Two Italian athletes will kick things off. And remember, in the qualification, it is not about beating your opponent, it's about beating the clock. The athletes have 2 runs. The best time will be taken, and we're hoping that the top 17 will go through to the finals. We'll explain a little bit more about that if we see some false starts, because there are some tricky rules involved in that for this kind of competition. So here we go, first race of this evening, first timed qualification run. And it is clean from both women. Fairly slow, hesitant start from both. Alice ahead, and will be ahead in terms of time, but now Agnes comes and stops the clock around about 9 seconds and 8.98. Andrea, a tricky start for both women there.
Yeah, not the best runs for both. They both compete in Seoul Youth Camp, so they are prepared for these, and yeah, they both had sleep, Agnese, and then Alice a little bit of struggle, but I think it's a good, fluently first run. Hopefully the second will be better.
Yeah, the athletes do get 2 runs, remember, so they have a chance to make a mistake unless there is a false start, and then things get pretty savage in terms of the rules. And now we have 2 more athletes. Nele on the right, Ksenia on the left. Ukraine and Germany represented.
Ready?
And it is a clean start from both women. Ksenia there in the middle now, starting to accelerate through the top part of the roof. Hits 8.6 versus 9.435. And Andrea, let's talk a little bit about the kind of timings that you need to get into. Let's say a World Cup, first of all, because the standards for qualifying has jumped up so much in the last couple of years. It's hard just to make a finals.
That's true. Like, in these couple of years, it's been a huge evolution of the sport, and like, I remember in 2 years ago, you would have to do like 8:20, 8:15 to be in finals, and this year we saw in Bern it was much faster that you have to be in finals. So it's a huge evolution. All the young generation is pushing the limits.
Yeah, it really is. We're seeing a lady there on the right, Alexandra Kaluchka, who has been pushing the limits for a while. Sofia Bellassini from Italy on the left. And it's a good start, but look at Alexandra as she just cruises up. This is going to be a good, exciting time for her. It's a 6.67. That's
such a good run. Damn.
That is a quick qualifying time from Alexandra. And look, Andrea, we talk about the Kaluchka sisters a lot in speed climbing because they are 2 of the very best, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they both came here to be prepared they see this competition as a good preparation for Rome in 2 weeks. That will be the qualifying for Paris. So it's a good start for Alexandra to do this time in the first run.
Absolutely. So she's off to a good start. She just came running up to our commentary box, hugged the coach. She's got that one in the bag. It's a good first run from her. Like Lara from Spain and Sofia from Italy on the right. And if you're new to speed climbing, well, we'll take you through some of the rules as we go. We'll save some of those for the finals as well. But the basic principle, get to the top of the wall as fast as possible. Green lights go, clean from both women.
Good start.
Yeah, oh, Sofia, those slips in the middle of that route. Lara as well, stops, hesitates, hits the stopping buzzer. Now, Andrea, we see something like Sofia there, slipped off midway through. It looks, when you're looking at it, like she's absolutely cruising, she's going to be fine. But the slightest hesitation or drop in concentration, that's what can cause a slip like that, and that's what we're watching.
Yeah, like speed is a totally different discipline from the others. Like you have to be so precise in so high speed. So it is what makes this discipline so fun and so interesting.
Absolutely. Well, Natalia Kluchka, second one of the Kluchka sisters on the left, Giulia Randi on the right from Italy. Both women left foot on the starting pad, right foot on the wall, two hands on the starting holds. And it's a good start from both of them. Natalia, though, will start to accelerate. Giulia Randi, no slouch either. She's on the top half of the wall. And it's a 7.35, that's a 6.83. Andrea again into the sixes.
Damn, the sisters.
The sisters indeed on fire there. You can tell them apart. Natalia has blonde hair.
Giulia had a really good start. And it's a good time for the starting, even though the last part was a little bit slower, but I know she can do better.
Yeah, so the athletes do get 2 runs, remember, to improve. Right, Capucine Biglioni on the right, Carla Martinez Vidal on the left. And we do have a nice mix of youth athletes, up-and-comers, and of course, pro World Cup climbers. And Capucine on the right, very, very experienced. We are expecting to see her in the finals, but of course, it's speed. Anything can happen, so hold your breaths if you're French. And supporting Capucine here.
Ready.
Well, it's clean for both women. That's good. No full start. It's a big bound from Carla there. Look at this from Carla. Right, well, Capucine takes it in terms of time, but Carla really fast from her.
The first part of Carla is getting better and better in every competition. She's just so explosive girl, as you can see.
So, Beatrice Colli on the left, Sofia Tulecina on the right. Now, Beatrice is someone you train with and climb with a lot, and we saw a couple of nervous-looking runs for her in the practice, so a lot to do for her now.
Yeah, hope she's a beast competition athlete, so I hope she will.
Well, let's see what she can do here. Epic TV athlete Beatrice Colli is underway. Nice and smooth, a couple of slips and hesitations. Sofia has a slip down low as well, but a 7.47. Beatrice, will she be happy with that kind of a score?
Yeah, I think it's a good first run. She had to gain some confidence again after the practice. That was not so good, but I know she knows that she can improve. Like she did a couple of mistakes, but it's still a good first run.
Yeah, a good first run for her. She's got it in the bag now. She can look to improve after that, but that's pretty solid, especially considering it is a field of 17, so she doesn't need to do that much in order to get into the finals.
Yeah. Of course, she would definitely would like to be in the first 3 or 4 to have better runs in the finals.
Yeah, because if you qualify in the top place, you face someone lower down the order, so theoretically it's a bit easier for you. Erika Piscopo on the left, Lisson Gautron on the right from France. And it's a quick start from Lisson off the blocks, and she's accelerating through the top half of the route. Erika a little behind in terms of time, and a 7.47 again. These times for the women so tight at the moment. Always good to see. And if you're watching us on YouTube, go and have a look on the Farsi YouTube channel or the Epic TV YouTube channel. We are live on both of them, and there's a live chat. So if you've got any questions for myself and Andrea here in the commentary box, and later on, Mattia Zaloni will be joining me in the commentary box, a gentleman who's just qualified for the Olympics at the recent Bern World Champs. So he's floating around this gym at the moment, signing a lot of autographs, looking like a very happy young man. He'll be joining me later on for the finals. Alice Strocci on the left, Sarah Accosi on the right. Two teammates facing off. Big Italian presence here, as you'd expect. And it's a good start from both women, neck and neck at this point. About halfway up the speed wall, now nearing the final section. Sarah losing it a bit at the top. An 8.6, 9.0. Sarah looked like she sort of paused a little bit at the top there. And quite a tricky top section for her. And of course, these two athletes, young in terms of age and just coming in to this situation, this pressure-filled environment, learning their way as we go. And we just have a look.
It's good to see, like, in the Italians, the new generation, like the young athletes are coming so motivated. They do trainings together. They are always trying to train and push each other. And I love that environment when you got to train with them. Yeah, definitely helps to improve the national level.
Absolutely, and those times we said at the beginning, falling now all the time as well. Nelly Thomas on the left, Agnes Fiorio on the right. No full starts again, which is good to see. Nelly swinging with Agnes making mistakes down low. She's in the middle section of the route now. We'll have a lot to do at the top. 9.3 and 11.35, so no slips, but Agnes will have to reset for her second run. And Andrea has the IFSC app, which you can download for free next to me. She's keeping an eye on the times.
Yeah, this was the second run of Agnese. Maybe not the best start with the Tomoa and sleeping on the middle part, but she has a good time in the first. Not her best, but good time to be in finals, of course.
Yeah, she got a 9-something in the first run, 11-something in the second, so she's currently in, doing well. So Alexandra Kaluchka and Ksenia Horyova on the right. So Alexandra on the left, Ksenia on the right. Big start from Alexandra as well, but then a big slip. Ksenia moving up through the bottom half of the route into the top section, but Alexandra recovers well with a 7.6, which, I mean, how hard is it to bounce back from something like that, a big slip?
Like, usually when you are pushing really hard and you're feeling really fast on that day, sometimes you push too hard or too high on the foot. This time I think it was a little bit lower, the foot, so again, the precision and speed is so high now, but she recovers so well, like 7.6 with that huge mistake is
crazy, isn't it?
Crazy.
That was not a small mistake as well. Well, we are expecting to see her in the finals. Sofia Milani versus Sofia Bellassini from Italy. The two Italians with the automobile tucked behind them.
Ready.
Good start from both women as we near the final section. Oh, but a big slip on the left from Sofia Milani. That will make her time suffer. Sofia Bellassini, meanwhile, stops the clock at 8.37. And a 10.89 means that Sofia Milani will have to rely on her first run. And now the women's qualifications starting to take place now.
Yeah, Sofia had a fall in the first run, so this time. I don't know if it will be enough. We have to wait. Until now, she's 16, so...
So out of field of 17, she's just hanging in there. Yeah, the men's field is a little bit bigger, so more of a fight there. But for the women, we have a slightly smaller field here today for the European Cup here in Bologna. 24 level gym hosting us. And what a wonderful gym it is. We'll be able to see the lead in action tomorrow. Right, Giulia Randi on the left, Leari Ottano on the right.
Ready?
It's clean through the bottom section, Lara, with a little hesitation there, and it's starting to cost her. Look at Giulia Randi, though, 7.2. What a time from her.
That's a good time. And she slowed down a little bit on the last part. So, but at the end, I think she wanted to secure a good time. Her start was super good. It's so cool to see how, of course, this is a little bit of an anticipation of what will be Rome. And some of them for sure are using this camp to gain some security. I don't know.
Yeah, you talk about Rome. I've seen the pictures of the stadium, and it is spectacular. There is a huge, well, a normal size lead wall, but in the middle of this massive arena, all focus on it. Cannot wait for that. Capucine Viglioni on the left, Natalia Kluchka on the right. Second run for both of these women. After the women's, we will have the men's qualification. That's coming up next, around about 6:30, we think.
Ready?
Again, no full starts. Natalia starting to accelerate. Capucine catching her up in terms of time, and a 6.7 versus a 7.16. Natalia almost made Capucine look a little slow there, but right on 7 seconds just shows how fast both women are.
Wow. She was fast, not faster than her sister.
Are you creating a bit of sibling rivalry here?
I don't know.
I think you should. I tend to try to do that myself.
So nice to see them competing together and pushing each other. Is amazing.
Yeah, it really is.
And Capucine is third now with that good second run. So I'm happy for her.
Yeah, it should be a good seeding for her. In fact, she's sitting in front of us in the commentary box talking to the coach, looking very happy with that run. She's through and with a good place as well. Right, Sofia on the left, Carla on the right. Both of these athletes climbing well in their first run.
Ready?
Oh,
Start!
lots of slips all over the place here. Had a good time at 7.5 versus 8.68, but yeah, a few mistakes going on there.
Yeah, Carla had such a good Tomoa and a little bit of struggles after it, but it's still a good run, so she's 7 until now.
Yeah, that was a clock stopping at 7.5. Andrea, there's a question for you from Scott on YouTube who's saying, how does a climber find themselves in speed instead of another discipline? So I know you have an interesting story about this. How did you start speed climbing instead of lead climbing?
Damn. Like I usually did all my youth years lead and boulder more than speed. But then I got injured and I couldn't do lead anymore, and I started then to do speed, and I got in love with the discipline. So now here I am, speed climber.
Absolutely, speed climber extraordinaire. Lisa Gotron, Patricia Colli on the right. Both women powering up this wall. Honestly, good times. Patricia Colli with a big smile on her face.
Damn, I'm so happy for both. It was such a good run. 7:09 for Bea here at home.
Yeah, really, really good from her. And she's very, very happy, I can tell you. She leaves, job done. But Lisson as well, what a time from her. 7.13, both women pushing each other. As you said, that's one of the great things about speed at the moment. It's everyone pushing each other to get better and better. Sarah on the left, Erika on the right. Sarah Akosi, Erika Piscopo on the right.
It's good to see Sarah competing. I think she's super young. She's getting more experience and improving on every comp. So
Ready.
It's a good start from both women here. But on the left, Sarah slightly ahead and a little hesitant now as they reach the top section and an 8.93. Oh, not stopping the clock. Erika missing that timing pad, so she'll have to rely on that second run. And if you're watching on Epic TV, hello. If you're watching on Fuzzy, hello. There's two streams going on at the same time here on YouTube. We're right now in the women's qualification. Soon it will be the men's qualification. And later on this evening, we'll have the men and women's speed finals. Tomorrow, around about 10 a.m. Central European time, the lead semi-finals and then the lead finals in the evening. Awesome climbing ahead of you. And if you are watching on Epic TV, I should just mention Patricia Colli, Epic TV athlete, doing very well out there. So good job from her. And you can see the warm-up area in the background here. And yeah, Patricia Colli third. We've just got confirmation. So good seeding from her. Alexandra Kaluchka in the top spot. Natalia Kaluchka second. And I'm not going to read out all 17 names, but we do have 17 women who will move forward this evening. Things would have changed if we'd had some full starts, but luckily we don't have any full starts.
yeah,
So-
and the level of the first 7 girls is super high. They are all doing a lot of the finals in the World Cup circuit this year. So the finals today will be super fun and really close, I think. So it's nice to see the level high in this competition.
Yeah, it really is a good high level. We can see the men there in the background warming up. And do go and have a look if you haven't. On the I4C YouTube channel, there is special edits we did every day about the World Championships. And myself and cameraman and editor had an awful lot of fun putting a dance tune to speed climbers warming up. We were very respectful, of course, but it was very funny. But Andrea, there's a sensible side to this because warming up for speed climbing, very different from a lead or boulder competition.
Of course.
Why are you guys so active? I mean, you're running around. Do you not tire yourselves out? What's it all about? What are you trying to do in a warm-up?
I mean, you have to keep yourself really really warm and try to visualize, like try to move as the speed you will feel on the wall. So like usually I also used to do some fast movements and coordination stuff because it helps me to have the energy that I will need on the wall, and then some visualization. So if you see it from the outside, it seems like you are dancing or doing fun moves, but it's all about the mental game that, you know, in speed is so important.
I'm glad you mentioned the mental side of it because I've never come across a sport, full stop, forget the discipline side of it, a sport that has so much mental games going on, because everyone at this level is really fast, like as a standard, okay? Mm-hmm. But that ability to keep the pressure down, to calm yourself down, that's hard, isn't it? I mean, tell us a bit about that mental game.
Yeah, like if you think is a little mistake can cost you everything, so it's a huge risk. Every movement is risky, and in full speed, so it's much harder. So trying to focus on the present moment and try to, I think the perfect thing is to not think about anything else than just the wall, and that you already know, but is like trying to stay in your own world, I think, and that helps you to try to be precise and perfect. You know, you have to, it's all about perfection.
Yeah, perfection, I think, is the word. That's what the athletes are looking for. Well, look, I've got some more questions to ask you, Andrea. And remember, Matteo Zaloni, future Olympian, will be joining me in the commentary box for the finals, so get your questions in for him as well. How do the athletes train for stamina? So, endurance, I guess. Do you need endurance for the speed?
Yeah, I mean, it's a 15 meters wall, so, and when you see it that fast, you think you don't need endurance at all, but it is like speed endurance, and I usually train that with my coach too, to be able to arrive to the last part of the wall without any hesitation or any muscle or not pain but struggle.
Well, fatigue is a thing because although, look, it's still 15 meters long, this wall, and there's two special moves, especially the Tomoa move down at the bottom, and then the method that's called the Chinese method, because although they may not have necessarily invented it, they certainly perfected it.
Yeah.
But they are two very physical, bouldery moves, and if you don't have that in stamina, that endurance,
Yeah.
you can't perform them, can you?
The middle jump also for the girls, I think, is also a powerful move, and you have to still have the stamina, as you said, to continue also pushing at the maximum, because every step is maximum strength, maximum power, and so yeah, having to work on that is also an important part of the training.
Yeah, it's so much a part of it, I think, and people don't realise how
Yeah.
physical the moves are. I mean, look, go and have a go. If you're at your local climbing wall and there's a speed wall, I challenge you to go and do it without chalking up, put it like that, for at least the first day of doing speed climbing, because you guys make it look far easier than it actually is. And, you know, there's hours of dedication that you put into this.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's so a physical discipline that we also have hours of weight training to get stronger and get more powerful. So it's not all about just going to the speed wall and repeat it, but also to train our body to be prepared to be better and better on every freaking move. So is taking it to perfection, but at the same time also training your body to be as stronger and faster as you can. So yeah, is much more than just going there and repeat the wall all the times you think.
Yeah, there's a lot more to it in terms of training. So do go and check out the climbers' Instagrams, because if you want to see strong people do crazy things like jump squats with weights on their backs, you can go and see that. Everyone has a pretty insane training regime. Right, the men, as you can see, are getting ready. And it's fascinating to see the differences between athletes. Some staying in their own brain, others being quite loud, quite big with a personality. And you can see there in the background, gentlemen running up and down the wall as fast as possible.
Yeah, I think for me, I try to change also to have different routines, warming up or activation routines. It depends on how I am feeling. Like if I feel sleepy, then I try to do more activated movements. But if I feel too activated, sometimes the adrenaline is too much and you have to calm yourself a little bit. Then I try to focus on my music and breathe longer. So it depends on how I am feeling and what I need on that moment. And yeah, I think I'm not the only one. Everybody is having their own routines, their own psychological steps in order to be on that state of mind, perfect state of mind.
Well, we're about to be able to see one of these routines, because I think the men are about to be called onto the stage. Alejandro from Spain, Alessandro from Italy will be up first. There are more men in the men's side of things, but we're just looking for 17 to move forward. 2 times, the best time is selected. Full starts are punished harshly. And we can see Alessandro there with knee pads on. That's something that we're seeing actually more of, because if you ever have a look at speed climbers' legs, trust me, they are covered in scars. It's unreal what the speed climbers put themselves through. I mean, look, we're sitting in the middle of the audience. I'm looking around right now. I mean, you've got enormous cuts on your legs.
Yes.
There's the German team on my right who are covered in blood. So it's one of those sports. It takes it out of you. Mariano Fernandez on the left, Alessandro Giugiani on the right from Italy. Thank you to the team at Level 24 Climbing Wall. That's where we're at in Bologna in Italy. Baking hot temperatures outside. But nice and cool here inside the gym. And any more questions for Andrea, my expert here in the commentary box, do send them through on the YouTube channel. There's a couple more questions for you, Andrea, so I'll ask them in a second. But right now we're going to focus on the men's first qualifying run. 1 of 2.
At your mark. Ready?
So both men off cleanly for our first run. Look at Alessandro powering up. Our camera can't really keep up with him. He's going to stop the clock.
That's a good start for him.
Oh, 5.9. We're under 6 seconds immediately. Unbelievable. So Andrea, you're getting a lot of love here on the YouTube channel. So how do people find you? What's your Instagram? She's actually checking her own Instagram, so she's going to find out her Instagram. But I have got Matteo's and Andrea's on my Instagram if you want to check them out.
My Instagram is Andre Rojas 95.
There we go. So any questions, or if you want to follow Andrea and Matteo, who comes later on, then do. Lanis Bada on the left, Maso Garnier on the right.
Nice start for Alessandro. This year he did his first 5, and now he's doing it in the first run. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was a good time for him. The men's field and the women's field so tight, as we were saying at the beginning of the live stream. It's unreal the times that the athletes now have to get just to make a finals. Clean start for both men, but Linus a little bit of a hesitation down low. Matteo now speeding through the top at a 5.89. I mean, look, Andrea, this is World Cup times we're seeing, and yet we're in the European Cup. It's insane, the level.
Yeah, the level is getting so better and better every part of the world, and of course Europe is getting better, so Linus just asleep on the Tomoe, that takes him the rhythm to keep forward to the top.
Yeah, the Tomoe is the first couple of moves, and it was invented by Mr. Tomoe Narasaki. Or actually, it was invented by him, but he didn't call it that. I can't exactly remember the athlete, but someone else.
Sean McCall.
Was it Sean McCall?
Yes.
There we go. Sean said it was called the Tomoe after him, so he's got a speed name named after him, speed move named after him.
Luca Robbiati.
Luca Robbiati on the left. We'll get a big cheer from the Italian crowd. Lawrence Bogenstofer on the right from Austria. This is going to be a good race. The crowd gathering here. Very silent, though, as we wait for these buzzers. Great start from both athletes. Lawrence slightly behind, though. Luca Robbiati, 5.77. What you expect?
Good, fluent first run. I think he wanted to control it a little bit, but for sure that the second one he will try to be faster. You could see he was controlling every move, but it tells you that he is much faster than that.
There's such a fine line, isn't there, between like controlling it and maybe falling off, or letting it all go and then having a wild moment out there on the wall.
I mean, at this level we also train this, like being constant on on good times, because sometimes you just need that. In competitions like this, you want the first run that is fluent, like Luca just did.
Yeah, you want it to flow earlier on. Right, Tobias Plagna versus Artem Lushko on the right. Tobias didn't have the best of practice runs, and he did have a hesitation down low at the start of the route. Artem accelerating, but look at that. Now, look, I know it wasn't a race, but if it was, that was pretty cool. Yeah. Tobias coming back well. But with a time of 6.18, considering how fast the times are, Tobias is going to have to step things up a bit in the next round.
I think for the 16 it will be fine, but as we said before, you want to be on the first places to have more opportunities to advance to the finals, but it was a good first run.
So Lucas Knapp on the left, Daniele Balestrazi on the right, another Italian team member. And hello to everyone on YouTube. Hello to everyone having a chat on YouTube as well. Lovely to see you all. Scott Morgan is going absolutely crazy on the Fazi YouTube channel. This is Albert O'Gay. Hello, Albert. How are you doing? Lovely to hear that you're joining us, Albert, a USA speed climber coach, and he was my co-commentator in Chamonix. Good start from both men, and Lucas explosive, especially through the middle section of the route, and now stops the clock.
Good run.
5.58, Andrea. That is a good time from him.
I don't know if that's his PR, but definitely really close. So you can see he's really happy, and it was a good run for Daniele also. He's young, strong guy from Italy. He was also in Seoul, and yeah, good run for the times are really good now.
The times are crazy good, let's be honest. Both of us here in the commentary box, we started leaning back, put it like that, and as the competitions progressed, we've leaned forward towards the screen more. Dorian Zedler on the left, Marco Rottini on the right. Dorian, part of a big German team here. And I was talking to the coach earlier on. She was saying how we need to, or they're trying to bring on the youth climbers and the ones who maybe aren't regularly making World Cups but need to sort of step things up. And it's a good competition, but Dorian with a full start. Right, Andrea, explain the full start system for qualifying, because it's pretty savage, isn't it?
Yeah, like full start, the competition is over for you. And it's a shame because Dorian had 2 really good practice runs. Yeah, just sad. You just train so many hours in the gym and get prepared to get it finished just in this way. But it's speed.
It is speed. I mean, that is what can happen. I mean, it's qualifying is the most savage round of any climbing competition you can possibly do, in my opinion, because those margins are so fine. So Marco will climb alone now, and he's cleanly through. And, well, I think there was a bit of a camera skip that made it look, but a big slip there as he neared the top of the wall. Still, a 7.26. And, Andrea, we're talking about psychology quite a lot here.
Yeah.
For him, he's just watched the person he's racing, I know not racing, but, he's there, make a mistake. It's difficult to compose yourself again.
Yeah, like you have to train also for that. Sometimes that can distract you, and you have to be able to compose yourself in just less than a minute. And I don't know, he was going really well. Maybe he tried to push a little bit more into the last part, and that made him slip. And sometimes that's the case. You change rhythm, and that makes you slip.
Yeah, that is the little hesitation that can send you tumbling down, but you managed to pull it together. Right, Guillermo Moro on the left, Alessandro Sigari on the right. And Alessandro was also looking very good in the practice rounds. Guillermo as well, a top-class athlete. That number badge has caused him problems throughout the competition. It is flapping in the breeze. It won't bother him, though, as he speeds upwards. We're keeping an eye here. Guillermo, what a time from him! A 5.45.
Good run.
Super, super quick. Clearly the streamlined number on his back there, helping him, blowing him up the wall. I was watching his coach trying to staple that onto his back. It didn't quite work, but a great run from him.
Good run for Guillem, and also for Alessandro. I'm happy to see him back with the Italian team. He had an injury in his knee, and he was out of competitions for 6 months, and he's back now. So being able to do 6.0 is nice. Hope he will do 5 again. So
yeah, and we wish him the best of luck from that recovery. Alberto on the left, Andrea on the right.
At your mark. Ready?
Explosive start from both men. Alberto looked distracted at the beginning, but he pulled it together. And a fall for Andrea. He falls. Alberto tops it out at 6.7. And yeah, Andrea, what went wrong with that one, Andrea?
I really don't know what happened. I think he just took the 8 hold.
Let's see the replay here.
Yeah, he just stepped far from the wall, and the hand just exploded. Sometimes it happens when you're a little bit far from the wall from what you are used to, and it doesn't help.
Yeah, and sometimes we just see athletes just get out of rhythm in their run.
Yeah.
They can't pull it back. Sometimes they can, and it's more important as well in a finals when it's a race compared to this clock.
Yeah, it's good that he has a second chance, so he has to focus on that.
Right, Konstantin Pavlenko versus Andrea Bortolotto on the right. Konstantin, explosive camera again. Can't catch up with the man, he's so fast. And a 5.7 versus a 6.19.
Good. I think both are faster than these times, but they are, again, you could see the athletes controlling a little bit in order to have a good first run. I know Andrea because I trained with him, so I know he's faster, but it's a good first run, fluent.
That was a good first run from him. We are moving through this men's side of the competition now. Getting towards our top 16 for the men. The women already competed. Their results decided. We're waiting for the official confirmation of that. But do go and download the free IFSC app from the App Store, or whatever App Store you use. I can't remember what the other one's called, but you can get it on there, and it does update you with all the scores and the results. Right, Hubert on the right, Unax on the left, Spain and Poland together. Poland representing a big team here. Unax, well, he was on a roll, had to hesitate at the bottom. Hubert takes it in terms of time, but both men, not the perfect run there. Hubert,
We want to watch the replay.
Well, Unax did do this thing where he had a hesitation a moment, but he could recover it, as we can see.
Yeah. That's the thing, you have to keep on trying, because in finals everything can happen. You can sleep, but the other can sleep too, so you have to try to recover as fast as you can, as best as you can, and try until the end. So it was nice that even though he slipped, he tried to continue.
Yeah, it's one of those things, sometimes you can pull it back, sometimes you can't, and wait to the finals if you want to see some close races. Timo Tas on the left, Andreano Egidi. Egidi. Andrea just shaking her head at my Italian pronunciation. I apologise. I'm trying. Good start from both. Adriano, though, look at this. Is he powering upwards at a 5.9? Timur a little bit more hesitant, 8.3. Not the best time from him. Adriano, though, speedy from the Italian man.
Yeah.
And for people asking about... Sorry, go on.
Yeah, with this time, Adriano will be in 7th place, so it's a good thing for him. Even though he's low a little bit on the last part, but still 5 seconds is good first run.
We should talk about world records here for a sec, just to let people know how fast it's possible to go on this thing. So, current world record holders, Federic Leonardo, 4.90 for the men, Alexandra Miroslav, 6.25 for the women. So, although world records might go tonight, those two are not here competing. So, in terms of the favourites for a world record, we might not see one. But you never know. I mean, I'm excited to see one.
Yeah, of course, that would be amazing.
It would be good, wouldn't it? Right, Yaroslav Tash on the right, Kevin Amon on the left. And Kevin, someone who can, on his day, be very, very strong. Is it his day?
Interesting run.
Well, he's off the ground running. Yaroslav Tash beat a Ukrainian record the other day, but he pauses in the middle. And a 6.1 versus a 6.0, so not the best for either athlete.
Yeah, you could see that Yaroslav went a little bit far from the wall on the middle jump, and he had to take the hold with 2 hands right over there, and try to recover, but it was too far from the wall in the middle part.
So a bit too far of a recovery. Alessandro on the left, Alero on the right, and I think we're back to second runs now, are we not? So we're resetting, so the athletes are on their second run. So depending on where they're standing, you either just need to not full start if you're someone like Daniele at the top, or you need to really improve if you're outside of that top 16. So it gets very personal at this stage of the competition.
Yeah, until now you have a time of 6.44 to be in the first 16, so keep that in mind.
Exactly, if you're watching at home. And thank you to all the people chatting. Oh, it's a full start from Alessandro. And he's going to carry on regardless, just to sort of prove a point here, I think. But yeah, frustration from him. So, out of the competition.
Yes, that's again the thing that we talk later.
I mean, he was he inside before?
Yes.
So he was inside, then he full starts on the second run, gets knocked out. Look, it's a rule, the athletes know it, but it's a harsh one, it really is. The heart goes out to them, it really does. Well, yes, hello to everyone who's chatting and asking questions. You can ask me any questions, and I'll try to reply about speed, but we have some experts in the commentary box. Andrea here and Matteo Zaloni later on will join me, so do get those questions coming in if you've got anything you want to know about speed. We'll go again, though. All right, now he's climbing by himself, needs to keep it together. Can he hold on to the pressure? We're looking at the clock, and it's a 6.3.
Ooh, it should be enough until now.
Yeah, true. Yes. He's sneaking under that 6.4, isn't he? So, at the moment, doing enough. That Samoa start, as you can see, down at the bottom.
But since we are starting the second runs, it's not sure still. Yeah. But until now, he's in the 16.
People are commenting on YouTube about how tough it is for Alessandro. I know. It's one of those sports. I mean, a full start in your second run, kicking it out.
He was 8th place with his first run, so this is not good, but this is the discipline.
It's the discipline, and I guess, as we keep saying, this is a learning opportunity for a lot of these athletes. Going to Rome in a couple of weeks for that Olympic qualifier. Cannot wait for that. Made myself a bit excited there. I actually clapped in the commentary box. Not sure anyone heard. Next round. Macho with a good start. Linus with a powerful run as well. This is going to be quick, but hesitations at the top for both athletes.
Sometimes it happens when you're feeling you're in a good rhythm and you start thinking, or you try to be a little bit faster, then your body just move a little bit farther, a little bit different that you're used to, and
yeah, you're like playing catch up with your own reflexes, aren't you, at that point? So tough. Lawrence Bodensdorfer on the left, Luca Robbiati. Am I saying that right? Robbiati, grazie. Yeah. Andrea training with a lot of these Italian athletes, so she is the voice in my ear telling me I'm being an idiot at the moment. So here we go for the second round. Both of these men. Crouch start for Lawrence as well, really sitting on that left foot to explode upwards. And it was a bit of a slow start for Lawrence, but Luca is powering upwards. Could be good from him, and a 5.5, that is good from Luca.
That's good, even though he had a slip on the middle part. But it was so fluent, I'm happy, yeah. It's a good time.
So, Andrea, another question coming in from Mr. Scott Morgan, who is very vocal here on YouTube. Thank you, Scott. He's asking about if this year feels different for the athletes because it's an Olympic year. Pressure-wise, I mean, that must make a difference, right?
Yeah, you could see that in Bern, if you would enter to the stadium in qualis day and more into finals, you could feel the tension everywhere. It feels much different, but I think it's something that will make us all grow and learn from these experiences. And it gets harder and harder, but as an athlete, it helps you to grow.
Here we go. Next round, Artem on the left, Tobias on the right. Tobias with a moment, and he has to do good here, and he's not doing so well. Artem will carry on, though, in a 6.6, and we're going to research the app. Tobias, what a year that man is having. So much potential, but he is still inside. He's 13th at the moment, so Not what he would have wanted, but in the finals at the moment, and he's immediately leaving the stage here. That was the double slip from him.
Hope he will have another chance in finals. Even though, yeah, he's in the last places, he will have another chance at least to... Everything can happen in finals, you know?
Well, we saw it. I mean, let's just talk about women in Bern for a moment here. And look, that finals, full stop. Go and watch the women and men's Olympic giveaway qualification world champ finals. It had a bit of everything, including...
So many emotions in one.
Oh, it was a lot. It was a lot to deal with. Right, Daniele on the left, Lucas on the right.
Ready?
Good start from both. Lucas Knapp as he accelerates. A bit of a hesitation though. We saw him go earlier on and it really paid a difference at the top. But Daniele, strong from the Italian once more. Good run from him.
Damn, and Lucas was winning the run, so that was so good run.
Yeah, Lucas had a moment down low. Let's see if we can spot it. And it seemed to sort of affect him later on as well. He had a moment down there.
Yeah.
Then later on you could see body starting to go. Daniele, though, powering upwards at 5.67 for him.
Good job for Danny. He's fourth at the moment.
So Marco Rontini on the left will climb by himself.
Yes, because of the false start, he has to run alone. Hope that he can stay focused.
See, I would absolutely hate running by myself. This might be the ego of me talking, but I'd want someone next to me to push me upwards. Let's see if Marco can keep it together now. Good stuff from Marco, and it is a good start from him. Strong at the top as well,
Yeah,
5.7.
good run.
Well, clearly the ego is not strong with Marco. Did well there.
It depends on the athlete. I mean, sometimes when you're alone, you don't have that pressure and you can just focus on yourself. So I think this time was good for him to be alone and just refocus after his first run that was not so good.
Yeah, and that was a good time from him, 5.72.
With this time, he will definitely be in the first 16, so good job.
Good job indeed. And this man here is currently leading the way on the right. Graham from France. He is at the top spot in terms of time. Alessandro Cingari on the left. I think also within the finals, as I look down the app, yeah, 11th at the moment for him. So he want to push this a little more at this stage. Try to be a bit more safe than he currently is. Thank you to Joel Michaels as well on YouTube saying this is quality. Appreciate it, mate. It is indeed quality here at the European Speed. And look at this from Graham. Super fast off the blocks. And what a time this is going to be at a 5.4 and a 5.9.
Just a little bit slower than his first run.
I mean, hang on a sec, Andrea. It's a 5.45. That's a 5.46. I mean, you're right, but
Yes.
God, these are small margins.
But when you're a speed climber, you really want to push your first run and do a faster. And he struggled a little bit on the last part, but and so happy that Alessandro did 5.94, so that's a good run for him too.
Well, we talked about making him more safe. That's bumped him right up the leaderboard, so good work from him. Ah, what a great qualifying round.
Hola, Paul. We are seeing some of the messages.
Yeah, lots of nice messages coming through on YouTube. Hello, everyone, if you're listening in the background. Coming up to 5 to 7 here in Bologna. Alberto on the right, Andrea on the left. And it's a clean start from both. Good for the middle. Alberto has a slip down low. Now powering upwards, though. 6.3 versus 6.65. It's at that point, Andrea, where I'm starting to get, like, disappointed when I don't see 5-second times. You know what I mean? We start off and I'm like,
Yes.
a 6.2, that's brilliant. And now I'm like, what? It's not a 5. Come on. And yet, doing really, really well. And the 6s are still getting him in.
Like
6.35.
Andrea right now with that time is in 16th place, so he's really close to the cut.
It might be enough.
We don't know. There are some guys that will have a second chance, so we have to wait a little bit more.
We will. We're nearing the end, though. Andrea Bortolotto Andrea Bottolotto on the left, Konstantin Pavlenko on the right. There we go. Matt's remembered how to speak. It's come about. I've only had one Red Bull today, as you can tell clearly, affecting me here in the commentary box. It will be all right for the finals. Don't worry, I'll have a second. Right, here we go. Both athletes fully focused. Konstantin looking down at his feet. Now looks up at the wall. And it's a good start from both. Look at the body movement as well. Super straight on the wall. They power upwards. Oh, that's quick. 5.8. This is 5.8. Almost identical times.
883, 885.
Ah.
Wow, nice job.
If that had been a finals race, I'd be going crazy in the commentary box.
Damn.
But in terms of time, very good as well from both of those two.
I know Pavlenko is not so happy with that time, but still is enough for being in 6th place now. So
the Italian coach, by the way, just walked past me with a raised eyebrow at how fast these times are going. It is very, very intense here in the climbing gym. Remember, do send your questions through. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a live chat. You can ask us anything you want in the commentary box. I'm unlikely to be able to answer. Andrea will probably be able to answer here. Hubert on the left, Unax on the right. The question comes through about rituals. Ask Andrea after this run about if there are any rituals that you go through. So think personal here, Andrea. Good start from both men. Unax, super speedy on the right here, had a good middle section and a good top section and a 5.8.
Damn! 880.
Descriptive stuff here.
Just faster than Andrea Bortolotto by the 3rd number after the 2nd.
Yeah, don't ask me what that number's called. I have no idea. We're on milliseconds here, microseconds, thousands of seconds, who knows. Andrea, rituals. Do you have a ritual that you do before you speed climb?
Yeah, I have some rituals. Some of them I don't share. But one of them, you can see I try to put the auto belay in a right position, and it makes me think that, like, okay, now is the time and just focus. So it gives me like the sensation that I need to be ready. Now it's time to go.
That's a great ritual. I'll be looking out for that in the future. Good start. Oh, Timo with a hesitation down low and a fall from him. Adriano, though, powering 5.72. That is a good time from him. App gets reset next to me immediately as we get to check that out. Let's see if he's within that top 16. Times coming real close now here in Bologna. It's a close thing.
The second runs of every athlete is...
And it's been an interesting run because we were watching the practice round. Lots of slips from the athletes. Didn't look like anyone was really in the zone. They went away. The cameras were turned on. Seems like everyone is switched on now.
I mean, it's a wall that maybe the Italians know, but the other countries is the first time they get into it. So you need that time to get adapted to the wall. So sometimes you see a lot of struggles in the practice, but then you have to be ready to the qualis.
Absolutely, it's all about this moment now. Yaroslav on the left, Kevin on the right. Good start from both, no full starts. Thank goodness, but Kevin now hesitates down low. Yaroslav, though, stops the clock on a 5.5. I think it was slightly slower, possibly, we'll see. And Kevin Amon on the right.
That is a little bit faster than Luca, so he will be, Yaroslav will be second, yes.
Fast time from him. And Kevin, though, couldn't stop the clock either. He missed the final timing pad. And as you said, Andrea, sometimes he's switched on, sometimes not. But that man has got big potential. Some people are asking me, by the way, where the other countries are. This is the European Cup. It's one of the reasons why Andrea is next to me in the commentary box. She's Ecuadorian. Yeah. So if you are from any other country apart from Europe, you can't compete here. And that's why we're missing Indonesians, the Chinese. So I hope that answers your question if you're watching. And I think we're done, actually.
Ooh.
So we will return very soon for the finals. Well, Matteo Zaloni will be joining me. Andrea, thank you so much. And I just want to say, Jan Havel saying the third number after decimal point is the 10,000th. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Got my maths mixed up. Andrea, thank you so much for joining me in the commentary box.
Thank
Go and
you,
check
Matt.
her out on Instagram. Myself and Matteo Zaloni will return soon for the finals. See you in a bit, everyone.